Hey folks, this is Karen Trepte. So welcome to this Money Talk with Karen. This, as you know, is like one of my favorite topics that I love to jam about, is how to help you create really long-term wealth and have very safe investments, especially with the market volatility that's going on right now. This is critical. So, for those of you who might not know me yet, I am Karen Trepte. I have KT Finances is my business name. And what I do is I market for over 100 of the top national finance firms in the United States. So no, this is not a company that invests out of the back trunk of my car. You never actually pay me any money, so I want to let you know that right up front. It goes straight to the top financial firms that you're going to be very familiar with their names. Not only that, my consultations are always free. So just to let you know, this is something I love doing, and I'm more than happy to help you either create a savings plan to get started with your investing, or if you already have investments, we can move some money over into a safer vehicle. Last year, my clients earned 15% on their money. Now, just to let you know, that's not a sustainable rate for something that's so safe, but that happens to be the figure that was accurate for last year. So let's move on here. Today's topic is $1 Million Baby. And for those of you who do know me and know how I adore my family and adore children and families in general, this is one of my favorite topics. This is a program that my grandchildren have and that many of my friends and clients have opted into. So let me ask you this question, and let me also say, if you are coming on live, I know I'm a replay gal because we're all super busy, but if you happen to be on live, you are more than welcome to ask any questions that you like. And if you're listening to the replay and you want to add a comment or tag me on social media, I'm all over the place. You're welcome to ask me any questions you like, and I will respond. So if you could set your child up to pay for college, to put a down payment on his or her first home, and be comfortable in retirement, all for like $200 a month, would you do it? Now, you have to realize that if you come to me and you're 67 years old, $200 a month is not going to actually work. You're going to need larger amounts of money to do it. So let me just be clear about that. But if you start early, if you start in your 20s or 30s, you can actually get all these things. This is like a big secret of the wealthy. And it's so exciting to help people create this. I mean, for me, of course, I adore my parents, but wouldn't it be nice to have had this set up for yourself? So for most of us, the answer is an emphatic yes, yes. This is actually a picture of my sweet little granddaughter. And so the good news is it is possible with a specific investment vehicle that I'm going to talk to you about today that's really been a long-kept secret of the wealthy. Now, this plan has actually been around since 1913. It's called a 7702A. And back in 1913, you actually had to be a millionaire in those terms. So today's fast forward would be about like being a 50 millionaire or something like that. But today it's available for everybody, which is why I'm so excited to share it with you. So it's called a 7702A is the actual Internal Revenue Code for it. And basically, it's a life insurance product. Yes. So inside that circle of your life insurance product, it acts like a protected long-term savings vehicle. And this is where it gets really exciting. So let me see how I can explain this succinctly to you. A lot of people think about life insurance in terms of death. They think about it's a death benefit. It's for somebody else. And certainly, since it's a life insurance product, it does have a death benefit attached to it. But what's really important, if you come through somebody like myself who knows how to structure these things, you can set it up so you're using it for life. In this case, that's why we're calling it $1 Million Baby. I mean, my daughter has this for both my grandchildren. Costs her, I don't remember the exact amount, but it's less than $100. She pays something like $86 a month. And they are set up to be guaranteed millionaires. It's pretty sweet. So here's an example of what a typical investment might look like. Just so you know that how times have changed, that even though you had to be a millionaire in 1913, you don't have to be today. You just have to be willing to set aside some money. And guys, when I see all the monies that has been spent on toys and different things, please take a hard look at your own finances. I know you love your kids, and decide how you want to allocate that money, because really, if you're frugal with it, if you're wise with it, you can set them up for like this beautiful future at very doable amounts. So here's an example. Say $25 a week for 5 years. $25 a week, a lot of families are spending more than that, even on a single meal going out to eat. Or $35 a week for only 2 years. $46 a week for 8 years. These are not extraordinary amounts. I want you to know that this is like so within your reach if you just decide to plan long term for your children. Now, if you set something up for $25 a week, who's to say that you have to even keep paying that as they become adults? You don't. You can give that premium over to them, and they can even afford it. I've even set this up for someone who was living at home, who was 20 years old, and she just wanted to prepare for her future. So that would equal, just to let you know about the numbers, that would equal a $28,800 contribution to your child's fund over the course of 15 years. So this is a really great place for me to pause and just say that I emphasize long-term savings. That's what this is all about. This does not work if it's going to be just for 2 years from now. You have to have some long-term goals, and you have to take advantage of the time value of money. If you look at some of my other YouTube videos, you'll see that I talk about compound interest, Albert Einstein, and how important it is to let time work for you. Guys, I have made a ton of mistakes. So please, folks, do not wait until you're my age of 64 to start planning. Now, even if you stopped contributing after that, which I don't recommend, I recommend you pass it on to your children as they become adults so that their money can continue to grow and grow and grow and get into the $1 million ranges. You'd still have saved for them After 20 years, you'd have more than $250,000, $250,000 at those minimal amounts of savings. And your child, tax-free, could start to withdraw on the cash value of that policy. Don't take it all out. You never want to take it all out. You never want to kill the the goose with the golden eggs, so to speak. But they can actually lend money back to themselves, which they never have to repay. And they can help them pay for things like college or a down payment on a house. Something we're talking about. Big gifts. And believe me, as a grandma, your children are not going to remember the latest and greatest $200 toy that you bought for them last Christmas. I'm sorry to disappoint you. They are going to have fun with that, for sure, guaranteed. But long term, they are not going to remember that. Now, let's just say the child's policy started when they were born, which you can set something up for them once they're 6 months old and healthy. So money was contributed, as we laid out previously, until they were, say, 14 years old. Talk about, if you are a grandparent, talk about what a lovely gift you can give your grandchildren. Then no further contributions were made. So the child decided to take out $12,000 a year, which is a nice chunk of change, at age 18 to help pay for college. So that would be, say, 4 years at $12,000 equals $48,000. Then they took out another $25,000 at age 30 for a down payment on a house, and $100,000 at age 45 for an investment property or a vacation home. So all those things will be well within their range as long as you set this up for them early enough in their life. And also, I don't think I have a slide for it, but I want to tell you, I want to share with you a huge advantage of this 7702A for those of you who have children or have just graduated college and know what a FAFSA is. It's a form that you are applying for financial aid when you go to college. Well, they always say, yes, children become adults when they're like 21. But guess what? Or 18. But guess what? If you're sending your children to college, who ends up paying that bill? Sometimes the children do, but whose assets, whose income is that financial aid based on? It's based on the parents. So here's a trick that a lot of people don't know about. If you put your money into this long-term savings vehicle called a 7702A, when your child reaches college age, you're going to find that those assets, that income, that money, that investment you've put inside of the 7702A, that's why it's a secret of the wealthy, is not counted as your assets. Do you understand what that means? It means that your child might qualify for a scholarship that otherwise the college might say, no, the parents are making way too much money. They don't qualify. Do you see how huge that could be in their future? This is really a very, very powerful vehicle, and that's why I love sharing it. So, due to the time value of money and the magic of compound interest, all of those things can come true. And the child would still have enough money. This is what planning in advance is all about, folks. they'd still have enough money to garner a retirement income of over $142,000 a year for 24 years, tax-free. And if you think about the tax rate, I'm just going to keep the math super simple because everybody's tax rate is slightly different, but it's close to 30%. And you think about the compound interest. Again, go back to my YouTube of earning even 1% extra interest can make such a huge, huge difference long term. If you're saving close to 30% of your money that you're not paying in taxes, you're letting that money grow instead. Imagine what a huge savings that is for you and for your children that you're setting up. So, when they become 89, the death benefit of that policy would be over $1.6 million. That's even with all those amounts of money that they got to use during their life. And they could pass that on to their children. Now, this is on a little sadder note, but I think it's really important to emphasize probate. I have talked, now I'm 64, so certainly this hits home, but I have talked to 3 people in the last month and a half. Either their parent passed away or a friend passed away, all in their 60s. And one gal told me, she said, we still haven't seen the money from my father's death. Another gal told me, look, when my dad passed away and he was handling all the finances, I had to support my mother because that money goes through probate. If you put it in this vehicle, if you put it in a 7702A, which by the way works even for just yourself, even if you don't have children, but we're using $1 Million Baby as our example today, there's no probate. It goes straight to your beneficiary. So if something horrible happens, and God forbid, both parents pass away in a car wreck, those children are set up immediately. No probate. That's another part about planning. Okay, so think about it just for a moment. How much easier would your life have been if all those things had been available to you? And now think about the reality that you can provide that for your child. How good would that feel? So, to find out more about how to make your child $1 Million Baby or discuss other savings and investment options, just book a free call today. Now, if you don't have a chance to write this down, thank you so much for that thumbs up. If you don't have a chance to write that down, just come to any of my social media. You'll find me on all of them, basically. And book a call, and I'm so happy to help you. This just fills me up, and I'm going to send all of you light and love, and I look forward to chatting. So have a beautiful, beautiful day, and think seriously about how you can spend your money to really support your children. Talk to you later.